Namaste, and welcome to our continuing series, Questions and Answers, from the works of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, Consciousness, Part 24. From the Mother. I had a very sweet little cat, absolutely civilized, a marvelous cat. It was born in the house, and it had the habit all cats have. That is to say, if something moved, it played with that. Just then, there was in the house a huge scorpion. As was its habit, the cat started playing with the scorpion, and the scorpion stung it. But it was an exceptional cat. It came to me. It was almost dying, but it showed me its paw, where it was bitten. It was already swollen and in a terrible state. I took my little cat, it was really sweet, and put it on a table, and I called Sri Aurobindo. I told him, Kiki has been stung by a scorpion. It must be cured. The cat stretched its neck and looked at Sri Aurobindo. Its eyes already a little glassy. Sri Aurobindo sat before it and looked at it also. Then we saw this little cat gradually beginning to recover, to come around. And an hour later, it jumped to its feet and went away completely healed. In those days, I had the habit of holding a meditation in the room where Sri Aurobindo slept, the room A uses now. And it was regularly the same people who came. Everything was arranged. But there was an armchair in which this very cat always settled beforehand, did not wait for anyone to get into the chair. It got in first itself. And regularly it went into a trance. It was not sleeping. It was not in the pose cats take when sleeping. It was in a trance. It used to start up. It certainly had visions, and it let out little sounds. It was in a profound trance. It remained thus for hours together, and when it came out from that state, it refused to eat. It was awakened and given food, but it refused. It went back to its chair and fell again into a trance. This was becoming very dangerous for a little cat. But this was not an ordinary cat. To finish my story, if you leave an animal in its normal state, far from man, it obeys the spirit of the species. It has a very sure instinct, and it will never commit any stupidities. But if you take it and keep it with you, it loses its instinct, and it is then you who must look after it, for it no longer knows what should or should not be done. I was interested in cats to make an experiment, a sort of inverse metempsychosis, if one can call it that. That is, to see if this could be their last incarnation as animals, if they were ready to enter a human body in the next life. The experiment succeeded fully. I had 3 absolutely flagrant instances. They left with a psychic being sufficiently conscious to enter a human body. But this is not what men ordinarily do. What they usually do is to spoil the consciousness, or rather the instinct of animals. This is the experience. The thing in itself is of a certain kind. And it is our reaction with respect to the thing which differs. The experience is more and more conclusive. There are three categories: our attitude towards things, the things in themselves. These two always bring difficulties. And there is a third category in which everything exists in relation to the divine, in the consciousness of the divine. Everything goes on wonderfully, easy. And I speak of material things, of the material physical life. Morally speaking, it has long been known to be like that. But things material, that is to say, the small inconveniences of the body, its reactions, having pain or not, circumstances going bad, not being able to swallow, things most trivial, to which no attention is paid when one is young and strong and healthy. No attention is paid, and for everybody it is so. But when one lives in the consciousness of his body and of what happens to it, the way it receives, what comes, and all that, oh, it is misery. When one lives in the consciousness of others, of what they want, what they need, their relation with you, it is misery. But if you live in the divine presence, and if the divine does all, sees all, is all, it is peace. Time has no more duration. Everything is easy, and it is not that one feels a joy, nor that one feels, it is not that. It is the divine who is there, and that is the only solution. And it is towards that the world is moving, towards the consciousness of the divine who does, the divine who is the divine. And then identically the same circumstances. I do not speak of different circumstances. Identically the same circumstances. This is my experience of these days, so concrete. The day before yesterday I was quite unwell. And yesterday the circumstances were the same. My body was in the same state, everything the same, and all was peaceful. Of this I am absolutely convinced. This explains everything. This explains everything, everything, everything. The world is the same. It is seen and felt in an absolutely opposite way.